Well, just a couple of days before the Parish Walk, and I'm catching up with a gentleman who remembers the relaunch, because it was 1960 when it really started getting grey, wasn't it?
Friday the 13th of May. It sort of sticks in your mind,
right.
Scarred for life.
Courtesy of Manx Natural Heritage and the Eye Museum, we've got a couple of pictures here. This is a start line. It's near where Bar George is now, down that road where the garage was and the phone box.
That's right, yeah. It was actually in line with the old-fashioned telephone box at the side of Athol Garage in Upper Church Street, because it was rumoured that one of the organisers thought that St George's Church was a parish church, but obviously subsequently found it wasn't, but they still started it there.
So I believe 47 had their names down, 36 actually started, but only 4 made it round. But you did start that one.
I started, yeah. It was...
How old?
Not quite the legal age, really. My birthday is the 30th of May, and you had to be 15 to enter that year. So, I mean, tongue-in-cheek, in broad strokes, yes, I was 15, but technically 14.
Wow. Now, did you have any idea then? Because there'd been a gap, hadn't there, for quite a few years?
Yes.
Do you know why there'd been a gap?
I don't, in all honesty. No, really, there was only one race as such in 100 years ago in 1913. All the other competitions have been challenges, head-to-head. One person said, I can walk around the Isle of Man faster than you. Sometimes there'd be 3 people, but as a race, there'd only been, it wasn't a series. There'd only been, as far as we know, there's only records of one ever previous race to 1960.
I mean, from 1960 onwards, then it just grew and grew and grew to what we've got today, which is phenomenal.
Yeah. In no way we could have imagined how it was going to progress. I mean, it was almost like, because it's been so long since somebody had gone around, it's like trying to put a man on the moon. We didn't know if we could do it or not. We just had to try, and I don't think anybody did any training. Some of the people in it had sort of endurance jobs, if you like, postmen and farmers.
It was postman that won that year, wasn't it?
It was Stanley Cleater, yes, who did some, once I joined the post office, he gave me some advice and I did some training with him.
Because in those days, the rounds were massive, weren't they? He was doing phenomenal amounts every day.
I like a little bit tongue-in-cheek of how many miles he did, I think. So that was Stanley. But, yeah, there were 2 deliveries a day then. I suppose you were on your feet more. Today, a postman's job, it's a lot of sorting involved in it.
And that first one, well, I say first one, 1960 relaunch, do you remember a lady decided she was going to do it barefooted?
Helen Copner. There's a vicar's daughter from London.
That's very good.
I think she got
7 miles.
Yeah, I think she was doing okay till they turned, after being down to Brown Church, and she turned up the side road where Brown School is now, and it had been really laid in grit then.
Ow.
So on the smooth road she was okay, and that was her downfall. But give her a due, she gave the race some publicity, got public interest going.
Yeah. So, what do you say to people who are going to be taking to take part in it this year? Any tips?
As for first timers, don't get carried away at the start. It's slowly catch your monkey, really. To be very patient at every stage, and it's not about the fast walking; it's about the slow walking you don't do. So try not to stop. Just try and keep plodding away.
What was your best time?
Exactly, I'm not sure. I think it was about 15:43. I think something like that.
That's pretty good going there. You're not still doing it, are you?
No. Unfortunately, I must get the message out, really, that there are sensible rules in place these days why you shouldn't do this sort of endurance events till your body stopped growing. Because I developed osteoarthritis about 10 or 11 years ago. So now you have to be 21 before you can do the full distance, and that's very sensible.
Okay. So when you see it this Saturday, I'm sure you'll be there following it, will you?
Yes, I've had quite a bit of input into Michael George. I've been coaching him the last 4 years. I've sort of the traditional old-fashioned ideas, but my son, who's next Great Britain International, he's also on the team now, and he's more scientific and current, up-to-date ideas. We're both going to be in the car backing Michael this year. So in the last few years I've been judging, but obviously it's split loyalties there, it's a compromise, so it's wholly with Michael, who's going to win it, by the way.
Is he?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, yeah.
Well, the weather's not going to be quite as good as this, but maybe better for race walking, I suppose, isn't it?
I used to like the heat, but overcast conditions would suit most people, but we don't need rain, and I think we could, by all the indications that the Saturday afternoon could be quite wet.